Hi guys, it's me Kyrie and I began shooting at night. I don't know what's better, morning or night, I'm not really sure. But I didn't have the time in the morning and it's been so long that I filmed one of my yappings and all of that. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about Vincent Van Gogh, and I've been reading his works. This is called The Letters of Vincent Van Gogh. I say Vincent Van Gogh or Van Gogh. I know that both pronunciation are correct, and I've been loving Vincent since I was 11. I've watched most of his documentaries and all his films, and I just really love Van Gogh since I was like 11 years old, and I think he's the most genuine and sincere soul to ever walk on this earth, and he loves art as much as I do. And as a person who loves Van Gogh, I actually only read excerpts and small parts of his letters and not the full letters. So having this is actually one of the best books ever to collect, is having this. As a big fan of Van Gogh, I'm so happy that I have this, and I highlighted some works that I like, and I'm sorry about the background. Okay, I live near the highway. It's like super loud. And so back to Vincent. But my hair is not cooperating today. This shit hits me. Anyway, back to Vincent. If you want to know more about Vincent, I recommend this book. It's actually so good. It's a Penguin classic. And one thing about Vincent, from his letters, he is more than the art that he created. You can see through his letters that he has always been, for me, a simple person, as a person who was filled with hope and dreams. And you can actually see him having days where he is full of melancholy or depression and suicide, and then the next day he is enjoying the time of his life on earth and talks about how living every day makes him feel happy, trying every day, painting every day. One of the things that I love about what he wrote is that he expressed that if he can just paint every day, he's satisfied. Painting every day is better than not doing anything at all. He continued to say that doing something consistently every day is better than doing nothing at all. Having your own passion, having what you like, doing what you love. Because and especially he talks about how we as people should continue loving the present, because Vincent Van Gogh himself says that everything changes. Especially us, we are not the same person as we are yesterday or tomorrow. It's a new day every day, and you get to start all over again, which is the point of life. And he says that here, and it's one of the most inspiring book that I have read, and I recommend everyone to read it because it is so beautiful, so beautiful. And I hate myself that I had no other words how to express how the best thing that I can say is that if you have this, you will look into the heart of Vincent Van Gogh. You will look into his life and who he truly was. He's not just a guy who painted the starry night sky. He was just a simple person. And one of the funniest things about Vincent is his sense of humor. He was comparing himself to other painters who are not even famous to this day. Like, I've never heard of those painters that he kept mentioning, like Heckerman, and he was comparing his painting to their paintings and saying like, when I saw his painting, I didn't want to paint anymore. Like, he was joking about that, which was so funny and which was such a delight to read and refreshing, that he was just any other person like us. And he was insecure about his work, and at the same time he felt like he was the best. As I said, there are days where Vincent wanna live so badly. Like, he's so passionate about living. And then there are days he writes letters to Theo, his younger brother, about how, what's the point of all of this? What's the point of all of this? So what if I get better? If I get the medication that I need for being mentally ill, for having all this, because he has many mental issues. Like, what's the point of it all? But and then the next day he's like, oh, I love living. I want to live for the hope of it all. He was a dreamer, you know. He envisioned the world, loving art, painting, being a part of that world, the world that he wanted to create. He was such a person full of love, you know. And the way he talks about his fellow artists with so much respect, and as I said, he's full of humor. And one of the jokes that he said is that he'd rather not paint at all anymore than get compared to this guy who's like a great artist during the time. His name was Heckerman, I think. And he continues to compliment his fellow artists, brushwork, their techniques, the vibrant paintings. And he discusses to his brother, like, do you know where he got these colors, the paint, because it's like so vibrant and beautiful. Like, I want that too. Like, you know, he is just a human. He was just a normal painter. He was just a normal painter, actually. But at the same time, he's more than a painter. He's more than a painter. He's more than a simple man, because the way he saw the world is how I see the world, which actually touched my heart, because we have the same values in life. And one of them is like, one of the things that I love about Vincent, well, this is the thing that I love most about Vincent, because other than he was just a guy full of dreams and hope, he continues to say that people, you know, the point of living, generally the point of living is to create something out of love, and to also love something else more than yourself. And it can be anything, okay? To love something more than yourself does not mean just a romantic partner. It can be painting, it can be a passion, it can be a hobby, it can be something you love more than yourself, you know. It can be your niece, your nephew, your family, your mom, your parents, your mom, your dad, you know. Being selfless is the point of living. Inspiring other people is the point of living. In general, it's just creating something out of love, and living for love, and loving something more than yourself. And even when Vincent says those words, even when he talks great poetic words about how living is beautiful, the next day he will talk about, when I come home, I have no wife. When I come home, I have no child. That is so lonely. And he talks about his loneliness. And he talks, is that it for me? Like, he says that if living means that you're loving something else, does that mean I don't have any purpose here? Because I don't have a child, I don't have a wife, I don't have anything at all. And but the thing is, the next day he will answer his own questions, you know. He questions about the meaning of loneliness, the purpose of loneliness. Like, why do people have to be lonely? Why do I have to go through this? Like, he asks the world that. He asks us many times, like, why does he have to go through this? Like, he just want happiness, he just want a companion, he just wants someone to be there, you know. He just want to feel less lonely. And the next day, Vincent is like, oh, life is about loving something else more than yourself. Like, I love my brother, I love my nephew. Like, he has Theo's son is named after Vincent Van Gogh. So this Theo's son, who is Vincent's nephew, is named Vincent Willem Van Gogh as well, which is so cute. I love that. And you can see the brotherly love between Theo and Vincent, which I love the most about this book. And one thing more about Vincent is he promotes getting to know yourself. And I have always been an advocate for knowing thyself, knowing to get yourself more, you know. And why is that? And I said this many times in these videos. The thing that Carl Jung said, C.G. Jung, also I think I'm pronouncing it wrong. Also, it's Carl Jung. I keep forgetting how to pronounce his last name. Is Carl Jung. So as Carl Jung says, which I always quote what he says, because Carl Jung is one of my favorite authors. I love his works as well. He says that I myself am a question which is addressed to the world. I must communicate my answer, for otherwise I must be dependent on the world's answer. So from that quote itself, what does it mean? Okay, and from a personal experience, there was a time where I didn't know who I was, and I'm not sure of what I want in life, and like, what do I live for, like what do I do. I don't have any passions, I don't have any hobby. I was not into films yet, I wasn't into books yet, and the world showed me who I should be. There's a fucking motorbike outside. I don't want to crash out. Anyway, I'm not even gonna edit that out. I'm so lazy. But Carl Jung says that because my personal experience was a time where I tried the shit that I just said, I didn't know who I was, and I just became someone else that the world made me become. You know, that's not my true self. It's just someone that I had to become because I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who I truly was. I didn't know what I want. I don't know what the hell I wanted. So I just copied what the world said. You know, I got into the rat race. You know, 9 to 5s, etc. I was just happy doing work. And the thing is, I wasn't happy, and I realized that. I wasn't happy anymore with it. Like, I wanted to live for something else, something more than going to work playing video games. Like, I wanted more because I found out more about myself, and that's the thing about it. That's why I promote getting to know who you are. And Vincent Van Gogh also says it right about here. Okay, let me read this. This is page 337. Let me read it. And you enjoy yourself as much as you can. Enjoy yourself as much as you can. So intensify your own health and strength and life. That is the best study. Getting to know yourself, enjoying yourself, being your own. Like, who are you without everyone else? Like, who are you? And I personally believe that if you know who you are, then you will fall in love with life. It's like a domino. Okay, if you are not happy with your life, you have to know yourself more, and then you will have your answer. You know, so you don't have to follow what the world tells you to be. Okay, you will not follow what they tell you to become. You follow what you want. Okay, so get to know yourself. Me and Vincent have the same values, same beliefs with and we see the world the same way. And if you want to get to know the world and how he sees the world, I really recommend reading the letters of Vincent Van Gogh. Okay, and as I mentioned before in the video, Vincent asked his brother, when I come home, where's my wife? When I come home, where's my child? Nothing. I have none of that. You know, when he has these episodes, he expressed about how depression and melancholy and everything else affects his moods and his thoughts, and he expresses himself very, very well. He used his words very, very well. You can feel his sincerity, and he is his authentic self, you know. And he says that the living is loving. You know, the true act of living is to love someone, something other than yourself. And I mentioned that earlier as well, you know. And for Vincent, he doesn't realize that loving painting, loving art, you're already living to the fullest, you know. And that's why he has this episodes where he's like, I'm so lonely, I don't have a wife, I don't have a child. Like, what's the point of it all? Since he views that living, the point of living is truly loving and loving someone else, doing things out of love, and being genuine to other people, and he also says that if you are unable to love something other than yourself, then you're evil to the core. Like, if you can't love an animal, a pet, like a hobby, a passion, if you can love your parents, if you can love any family member more than yourself, or your nieces and nephew. And he has painted many paintings for his nephew, who's also named Vincent, and I understand that. I love my nieces and nephew with all my heart. If you guys know that, I talk about them a lot. And Vincent sees that over and over again. Our purpose in life is to love someone else more than ourselves. And other than that, we must know ourselves before we can love someone else. And we can also do it while we get to know each other. While we get to know ourselves, we can also love someone else. Because there's no rules with that. And there's so much to know about Vincent, and he says that if you lie to yourself, if you lie to people that you love them, and then you don't, and you just like why are you even here? Like, why do you live your life like that if you're just going to lie about how you love someone? Like, why do that? You're not living your life to the fullest. You're not living your authentic self if you're doing those bullshit, and you should not do that at all. Like, you should not do that at all, because at the end of the day, the cost is your life. You're just wasting your own time. You're just wasting your emotions. You're just fooling each other, and most of all, you're just fooling yourself. Like, who are you? You don't know yourself if you can love something else or someone else. If you can't be passionate about something, if you can't love someone more than yourself, and I'm not even gonna say romantically. It's not all love is not only romantically. If you can love your friends more than yourself, if you can help them out, if you can spend time with them and be genuinely there for them when they need you, if you can't do any of that, like, what's your point here? Like, why are you here in this world? And it's also okay to always put yourself first. There's nothing better than putting yourself first. Like, I get that, I understand that, but be able to love something more than yourself, because that's what humans are. And there's many things that I want to talk about Vincent and his works, but this video will become 1 hour long or 2 hours long, a full movie, and I don't want that. But if you don't like reading books, I recommend what can I recommend? Okay, watching his 2 movies, not his movies, I mean movies that is about his life, which I love with all my heart, and I enjoyed the most out of all of them because I watch a lot. Loving Vincent, which is the first fully painted film in the world, Loving Vincent. And the second one is where the meme of William Dafoe, where he looks at the sky, which is a funny scene, but it was like heartbreaking at the time. It's called At Eternity's Gate, and it's also funny to me that Vincent Van Gogh's full name is Vincent Willem Van Gogh, and then we have Willem Dafoe playing him at Eternity's Gate. So if you haven't watched that yet, please watch it if you're into movies. But if you want to like get to know Vincent, I really recommend this book, or any of books that mention his letters. I also started to copy. Every time I sign off on my email, I say ever yours, because he says ever yours Vincent, or he says loving Vincent. That's where the title Your Loving Vincent, he ends his letters Your Loving Vincent, which is so beautiful. So I hope you guys learned something from me today, and I'm sorry, most of the time I feel like I'm just rambling, like I'm just yapping, and I just let my thoughts go too much that you don't get what I mean. And I'm really sorry. I'm trying to be a better speaker. I'm trying to be better at expressing my thoughts and expressing my emotion, my not only emotions but also my opinions on certain things. And I just hope that I become better in each video that you see, and I hope that you guys can see me when I'm at my best, because I feel like this is not my best yet, but the best is yet to come. And next video I want to talk about Seneca. I love Seneca, I love Stoicism. I just got a new book which is by Seneca, The Letters from a Stoic, an ancient classic. It sounds like I'm saying Asian, but I meant ancient, and which is a good book as well. I will talk about that in the next video. So bye bye guys, bye bye. Get this book. Okay, wait, let me take a picture for the cover. Dude, Vincent Van Gogh.